Jai Hind everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, Jai Hind.
Yes, Jai Hind, sir.
Okay, after a long time we are connecting, but I am sure that we will be having regular sessions hereafter. Okay, today we have an important topic on which you all will be speaking. I will just contribute little bit today, and maybe next week we will have elaborate coverage on the topic. Today, let's hear from you all the burning issue in our nation about Manipur crisis. Just as an introduction, I would like to say whether it was evident for all of us, a reckoning on the wall, whether it was coming up, could we do something? Have we failed as a nation? Have we failed as a society? Because on one hand, we want to be a powerful nation. Just a couple of days back, Prime Minister was making statement that in coming years we will be third economy in the world. But then, with such kind of things happening within a country and the message going across to the world, will it be in our interest or will it be affecting our business potentials in times to come? A lot of issues are there. It is just not mere security issue in a state about a community or a limited society. It is something more to it. So today, like what are topics we had decided, I will just put that message here. We had decided, you all can see on message, we had decided participants, if we will see who all are there, they will only participate. Shweta had opted for brief introduction of Manipur. Pooja, if she is here, I'll just see who all are there. We will just include that list only. Couple of students had some other commitments, so we will skip them. So Shweta is there. Then
Yes, sir.
yes, let me know who all are there who had volunteered. Shweta, and apart from that, Amruta.
Amruta is there. Yes, sir.
Okay. Who else is there? No issue. We will respect the time. So we'll start with Shweta. I will request Jay. Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Jay, keep the time for all who all are speaking, and then we will open the forum also. Anybody can
Okay, sir.
participate. Jay, keep
Okay, sir.
the timer as 5 minutes today. We will
Okay, sir.
restrict whatever one has to express in 5 minutes, and at 4 minutes you can say last 1 minute. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Shweta, are you ready to open up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We will go ahead with you. Jay, just once you are ready, you can give hint to Shweta. And then,
Okay.
or before Shweta speaks, see the holistic view on such issues we need to develop. Whether it is an internal crisis, whether it is externally triggered crisis, whether it is a crisis between religions, or whether it is an ethnic crisis, whether it is related to some kind of localized issue. A lot of things are there. That's why history is important. What are the developments are important. And then, is there anything which is government policy related things? The vicinity. If you see, Manipur is closer to a border, and any border state will have problems. And problems will be of different kind. So J&K has got different issue, but the Manipur, which is closer to a golden triangle in the external front, which is formed between Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand. So this golden triangle, why? Because there are a lot of nefarious things which happen there. Myanmar being in the close vicinity of Manipur, And Myanmar has always been an unstable state. And for a brief period, even if it is stable, it is the central Myanmar which is stable, not the peripheral. So its periphery is our periphery. So a lot of things come from outside. So many issues are there. We'll dwell upon that. Shweta, you can start. Jay, give the prompting.
You can start now.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is me, Shweta Singh, and today I am going to tab on a topic about the brief on Manipur. An oval shaped valley surrounded by nine hills, which is a unique geographical location in the northern east part of the country. The constitutional name of the jewel land is Manipur. On 21st January 1972, Manipur became a full-fledged state under the Northern Eastern Region Act 1971. Lohtak Lake, Iman Cattle Market, Kankla Fort, Sri Govindji Temple, and many more is the tourist attraction center in Imphal, which is the capital of Manipur. It is bounded by the Indian states of Nagaland to north, Mizoram to the south, and Assam to the west. It also boundaries with Myanmar. The state covers an area of 22,327 kilometers square. The official and most widely spoken language is Meithei language, especially known as a Manipuri language. Manipur has a population of 2.8 lakh as per the 2011 census. Of these, total 57.2% live in the Valley district and the remaining 42.8% in the Hill district. The valley is mainly inhabited by the Meithei speaking population. The hills are inhabited mainly by several ethnologically diverse tribes belonging to the Nagas, the Kukis, and small tribal group. Agriculture and forestry are the main resources of income. Rice is the major crop, and the rich soil also support corn, sugarcane, mustard, tobacco, and pulses. Some of the hill tribes' domesticate animals are kept only for meat and are not milked or used for hauling. The Nagas are known for the intoxicants to catch fish. Manufacturing of Manipur is limited to several well established cottage industries. The design cloth produced on handlooms is on the demand throughout the country or outside the country. Other industries including sericulture, soap making, carpentry, and tanning. Manipur remains somewhat isolated from the other part of the India and have a less communication within the Manipur. A national highway passes through the state from Tamu on the Myanmar border in the south via Imphal to Dimanpur in the north. This national highway also connected to the railway and to the airways also. The governor, appointed by the President of India, is the constitutional head of the state. Manipur has a unicameral legislature consisting of a Vidhan Sabha of 60 members. The state's High Court, which is located in Imphal, head the state judiciary. Manipur is divided into 16 administrative districts. About three-fourths of the population is literate. The state has a university at Imphal and more than 30 colleges. Major health problem includes tuberculosis and filaria. The state continues to have an inadequate number of health facilities. Polo and field hockey are popular sports. Manipur have given birth to an indigenous form of classical dance known as Manipuri.
Last
Long
one
as
minute.
isolated art from Manipuri was introduced to the rest of the India by the poet Rabindranath Tagore in 1971. Some facts about the Manipur. Number one, world's only floating national park, Kabul Lamjaw National Park, is in Manipur. Second, world's oldest polo ground in Manipur. Third, required special permit to visit Manipur by the government of Manipur. आई कंक्लूड दिस टॉपिक। मणिपुर भारत का एक अभिन्न अंग है। आज मणिपुर नहीं, भारत का हर हिस्सा जल रहा है। आज देश जल रहा है। थैंक यू सो मच।
Okay, good, Shweta. You gave good introduction, starting with little bit history and its formation, how people are living, and the diversity there, their livelihood. It is true that Manipur is actually having a lot of potential from the tourist point of view. Imagine a nation which is yet to come to a powerful status and has got so many avenues to ride upon, and one of them is tourism. Instead of exploring the tourism, and we are actually losing our image, and Manipur is a classical example. On one hand, we should have been developing a lot of tourist spots there, a lot of natural resources. The Manipur name itself has come with some purpose, some meaning. Historically, there is so much of wealth there, natural wealth, and our ancestors also knew it. Today, we are yet to explore it. And the problem, if it is not resolved in time, it leads to this state. As Shweta was highlighting, there are different religions staying there. Ethnicity is a bigger issue. The original inhabitants are Maitis, but they are found in Christian and Hindu and even Muslim community. The Maitis are local people. Cookies, it is believed that have come from the Myanmar, especially the Britishers brought it. So they are outsiders. Now coming to the neighboring state of Manipur, that is Nagaland. Naga also has got their own vision of greater Nagaland. So on the hilly portion, they also keep claiming it. So these outsiders who came in Kuki, these people came and now they are spreading. Once they are spreading to the other portions, all the districts, so the Maitis are feeling threatened. If you see the clashes are not based on religion. They are based on the original inhabitants and the outsiders, the locals versus outsiders. So cookies are believed to be outsiders and the Maitis are feeling threatened. Another dimension is, if you see, the traditionally the local people once get suppressed by outsiders. This history keeps on lingering on the minds of people and they feel threatened. The outsiders, they want to settle down, they will do illegal things like the poppy business there, the cultivation, drug menace. So again, that blame goes to cookies. So this sufferer of drug menace, primarily the local people who are around 56%. And if you see the statistics, what Shweta was also highlighting, the Maitis are majority. Then comes your Naga people, they are 24%. And the minority is cookies. But they are outsiders. We are not taking anybody's side, we are just discussing the facts. So if their points, their demands are not looked into, it comes to this stage where the violence is spread. Earlier also violence has happened. Cookies versus Naga happened, Maitis versus Cookie earlier also happened. But it is not between two religions. When they are attacking, because Maitis are in all religions, they are Hindu also, they are Christians also. Mainly the Christian community has risen. If you see at the time of independence, 62% were Hindus, but it has come down to 41%. Whereas the Christians were 19%, they have risen to 41%. So these are all undercurrent issues. The local communities keep feeling worried about such issues. And if it is not addressed by the government, it leads to something else, which has happened now. Now coming to the Nagaland, which is also claiming the hills, and the Maitis then not allowing them to spread to hinterland, and Nagas. pushing them to non-hilly portion. So this is a tussle. The cookies where they will go. They will resort to all kinds of illegal things. And this is how society gets disturbed. Okay, so good. Shweta, your communication style is improving. You brought a lot of confidence. And see, content is secondary. What is our hidden aim also is personality development, how you speak, how confidently you speak. Data will increase as you grow, as you read more, data will increase. But the style, the communication power, your confidence about English, whatever language, I am of the opinion whichever language you are speaking, you should be speaking with more confidence and it will come with practice. So good, Shweta, I'm happy you have spoken well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now we will go to who is the next speaker. Whoever is available, we are going with them only. Pooja, you're participating? Pooja. Okay. Okay, Kunal. Let me see. But before Kunal, if there is anyone, or we will ask Kunal, present status of burning issue. What Kunal is going to cover. Pooja, you are going to cover, but no, I am not able to hear you because little deeper into the history we want to go on this topic which you were supposed to cover. I am audible to others?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think Pooja has got network issue.
Yes,
Okay, so we will go to now Kunal.
Sir.
Okay, Kunalji, you can start. You will be speaking on present status of burning issue. We already heard Shweta about a brief introduction, which she covered very nicely about geography, demography, and the lot of insights. Now we will go to Kunal. Jay, keep time,
okay, sir.
and those who can speak with camera on, welcome.
You can start now, Kunal.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Today I am going to discuss about the present state of a burning issue. Present status of the burning issue. So let's know that who is fighting with whom. So basically, Methi and Kuki and Naga militia have for decades fought one another over conflicting uh, homeland demands and religious differences, and all sides live clashed with Indian security forces. Methi, who are accounts for 53% of the Manipur population and mostly living in Imphal Valley. And tribal and Nagas and Kukis constitute of another 40% of the population and resides in the hill districts. So so we'll discuss now what is the main demands of the both communities. Basically, Indian state maintains three state of OBC, SC, and ST of reservation for backward communities, so that they can enjoy their reservation in the job as well as in the education. Methi community, who is the majority in the state, has OBC and SC status, but they need status of the scheduled tribes so that they can protect their culture and language and identity. But as we listen, here is not issue of a communal violence. Here is the issue. Main issue is the land, because Metis Metis who have got only 10% of land area, and that also shrink because of the communities can take other communities can take land in the valley. By getting FC status, they will also get Metis community also get the right to buy and sell land in the valley as well as the hills. Whereas Naga and Kukis tribes say that Methi community is already in a stronger position, and they do not need any reservation like ST. Next, if we see the present status of the burning issue, After 2.5 months of widespread of the violence, finally government paying more attention after the video get viral on the 19 July 2023. The video of tribal women being paraded naked and trouble district on May 4th. It showed against the heinous nature of the conflict in the state. Till date, over 50,000 people have been displaced and living in the 349 camps. More than 155 people deaths till now and 240 people approx have fatal injuries. There are a lot of deficit in the trust. People who lived in the Manipur, they do not trust government agencies anymore because they losses in the terms of their property as well as lives. So they do not have to trust in all types of agencies, be it state police or central government agencies. On 14th of July, Kuki community also urged to Indian government to establish a separate state under Article 3 of the Indian Constitution, as well as Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud also summoned both Attorney General and Solicitor General, the two topmost law officers of the government, to convey that court is deeply disturbed by visuals and ask them to involve to look into it. Otherwise, court will intervene into this matter. So now there are so many impact on the
Last 1 minute.
of this violence on the social life also. We've seen that if there is any communal violence in the country, there are three major rights of the people which surrendered with immediate effect. The same in Manipur, also three very important rights of people are surrendered. First of all, curfew was imposed after the violence under the section 144, because of which people right to move freely is surrendered. Secondly, school and colleges were closed due to the violence, and because of which right to education is also suffering. And third is right to internet is suspended because of due to the internet shutdown, business transactions, banking transactions, and online educations are not being accessed. Lastly, I want to say that if government want, lastly, I want to conclude that the main
Time up.
reason behind this violence is poppy cultivation is the biggest problem. So if you want to eradicate it, then we should take new initiatives and new cash crops should to be introduced to the farmers, as well as government have to check on the Myanmar insurgent because of there is a possibility that behind this violence there are maximum strength of Myanmar insurgents. So government has to check biometric process on the Myanmar insurgents. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good. Kunalji, covered well. I will pick up two, 3 points. One is reservation. Yes, it is one of the triggering point, and it is happening even in other states also. If you see Maratha reservation, Jat reservation, everywhere these are important issues. And if it is not handled well, it leads to some problems. So this has been a critical issue that majority of the Maitis, if they feel they are not getting justice in government jobs. Secondly, about land. If you are not scheduled tribe, you cannot buy or land hilly areas. So they are under the impression that slowly we will lose our land. So this is important dimension to the crisis. Reservation plus land. Now coming to the external intervention. If you see day before yesterday, ex-army chief General Naravane, he also expressed his worry that probably external hand, external support in such a level of violence cannot be ruled out. So, what is that external hand? Obviously, it is from the Myanmar. Through Myanmar, it can be China behind Myanmar or the insurgents from the Myanmar or the anti national elements which are residing in the country and fueling it. So all these clubbed together are acting and increasing the level of violence. There is one more issue which Kunalji has highlighted, which is the poppy cultivation. If you see the Biren Singh government in the Manipur had passed one resolution or the law about or acting against the poppy cultivation, acting against the drug menace, and they started evicting the cookies from this forest land or the hilly areas so that these activities are controlled. So obviously the cookies which are surviving on this or the illegal whatever trade network is there, everyone is getting affected. Whereas on the other side, Maitis and Nagas, they are happy for such kind of laws. So one community is hurt for a particular law, but there are other communities in the same vicinity. They are happy about it, they are welcoming about it. So these are the background issues where one of the community is not happy, it is getting resented, it is trying to raise voice against government, and there are another communities which are happy to welcome such kind of laws because it is favoring their own interest. Because the poppy cultivation or the drug menace is destroying the future of youth, and the developed community will definitely face the hit of it. So comparatively the developed community in that area is Maitis, then Nagas, and last comes the cookies. These are three predominantly different communities staying there or the groups staying there. So because of these cookies getting involved into the poppy cultivation and the drug network, because of their own interest, the larger communities, the majority communities are feeling threatened. So there are problems which are getting added, and the resentment in the minds of the people gets expressed whenever such kind of opportunity comes. And then the violence level, what Kunalji was highlighting, the crime level has gone to a level which is not acceptable, which is a shame to the humanity. Whether it is targeting women, targeting kids, targeting religious places, because religious places are targeted at par. The churches are demolished, the mandirs, temples are demolished, even the mosques are demolished because it is community versus community. It is the ethnic violence. It is not about religion versus religion. It is the cookies versus Maitis or Nagas versus Maitis. Now on the face, we see Maitis versus cookies. So Maitis are targeting everything. Even cookies are retaliating on all places. So this is how this crisis is happening. Okay, good Kunalji, well covered. Your aspect you covered well. Now we will go to next
Thank you,
is
sir.
Pooja.
Yes, sir. I'm audible,
Okay,
sir.
you are audible now.
Yes.
You are ready with your topic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will just reiterate. Your topic is historical background pre-British era, which I have put in
Yes, sir.
message box.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Jay, keep time. Pooja, you go ahead.
Okay.
You
Can
can
I start?
start now.
Okay.
Okay, you
Good
can start.
afternoon, everyone. Today's my lecture topic is historical part of pre-British era in Manipur. So, during the Second War of Manipur was the scenes of battle between the Japanese and Allied forces. After that war, the Maharaja Bochandra signed a treaty of Asian merging in the kingdom into the India. So, it was made an union territory in 1956 and full fledged after that state in 1972. So the earliest record in the history of Manipur region, it dates about 900 CE. That is the Common Era. The beginning of Manipur, more recent history, it dates from 1762 when the Raja Jai Singh concluded a treaty with British to repel his invasion of Burmas from Myanmar. So thereafter, the Legislative Assembly was dissolved, and in October 1949, the Manipur became the part of India. So it was a made union territory and a fully fledged state in 1972 by the north eastern areas in the Act 1971. So Manipur has a long record in insurgency and inter-ethnic violence. So earlier Manipur was known by different names like Maithis Laipak, Sana Laipak, and Porei Lam. So the and one of the Kangla is the most important historical and archaeological site in Manipur. So Kangla serves as the royal place in the since period of numerous holy shirin and spread across the palace, and the site is scared after Maithis. So the British rule from in Manipur was 1891 to 1947. In fact, the control of administration of the state throughout the Manipur state Durbar and the Maharaja had been granted relaxation only in religious and cultural domain at that time, and the Manipur became a princely state under the British rule in 1891. So after that Anglo-Manipur War has the last of independent state to be incorporated into British India. So during the Second World War of Manipur was the scene of battle between Japanese and Allied forces. So the prehistory is the fact of origin of a human activities and a civilization of thousands of years ago. So, in general, the prehistory is divided into three ages, likely Stone Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age. So, these three ages give pieces of evidence of human activity in ancient time. So, there are few human settlement at the time that it have been made to establish earliest human settlement in Northeast India. So it is generally thought that it have been inhabited humans prior to due to unfavorable geographical condition. So this is, however, it dispute to propose by some scholar to have played defining role in early migration of people of India. So after that, from the sources, there has been a marked absence of historical evidence, especially by records governing span between the Iron Age and the first millennium in Northeast India. So it is the Chronicle and other nation mentioned that the networks between India and the South China were likely operating through
Last one
Manipur.
minute.
So Manipuri levy and Manipuri levy. So there were exploitation of the Manipur levy, which was the first standing army of Manipur, born out the Manipur national struggle against the Bhubane's rule during the 7 years devastation. After that, the Anglo-Manipur war was happened in 1891. So it took place. The soldiers show their might in the losing battle, sacrificing their lives into motherland. So it is a combat ended with the British victory, and after that, Japanese bombing was happened. So it took place several times in the history of Manipur, thereby creating high casualties to the people of Manipur. The first bombing was in the 1940s. So it's beginning of the Second World War in Manipur, and the human rights abuse in Manipur was ongoing in surgery. That is
Time up.
1960 due to separatial convent. So army, paramilitary, and the police personnel are responsible for killing the within Manipur and human rights violation. So the conclusion is that the Manipur has a huge potential to play a major role in cultural markets in Asian countries, and it is a potential area of investment to increasing the capacity of infrastructure, logistic, contract farming, and organic farming. Thank you.
Okay, Pooja, good. Yes, Manipur has got a rich history, whether it is coming from culture side or whether it is about the bravery. They fought war with British, and thereafter Japanese war. It was the similar land, and the people are brave. People have shown a lot of potential in the past, but as a country, somewhere, not only Manipur, we go to any border state, we need to blame ourselves that probably instead of reaping the benefits of their potentials, somewhere we are not focused, we lost opportunities. Even today in Northeast, there are a lot of infrastructure issues. We are yet to create a befitting standards. On one hand, we are having smart cities, we are aiming for a bullet train, we have state of art markets in other parts of the country, we have a lifestyle in all the major cities which speaks something else. And we have hilly areas not only in Manipur, in other states, all border states, and it is not matching. Violence already tarnished our image, but there are so many issues which can be taken up, which can really prove that we are a nation with sense of responsibility and all agencies involved, whether it is the central government, whether it is the state government, whether it is the local community, the youth, the old age people, all the single person till largest organizations, everyone needs to apply their heads in the interest of the nation, because ultimately the loser will be the nation at the large scale. At the individual level, there are so many people who have lost lives, so many families had to get displaced, so many children are out of school. They probably will take a lot of time to recover from these kind of shocks, and economics is collapsed. No further investment will happen at least for a couple of years. All those things clubbed, the rich history somehow is tarnished with a lot of bad patches. Earlier it was the British who saw their interest, but in modern history we are also not doing anything. We have not done enough. A lot of insurgent groups were flourishing in these areas. We tried our best to neutralize them, but somehow we are failing short. Good, Pooja, you covered the evolution in that part. The early human science are there, that Manipur is a very, very old land where the uh, old civilization was there. Then the kingships came, British era, how British also tried and exploited. And in the modern history, we have also not done just enough justice to the people and the state. Okay, who is next? I think Amruta will be the today's last speaker.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
uh, Amruta will be speaking on way ahead.
We are
Okay,
solution.
you will be speaking on way ahead. Okay, thereafter we will conclude, and even I will request other who are participants today, if you want to speak something, you can also speak after the last speaker finishes. Okay, Jay, keep time. Okay, Kunalji want to speak, you can speak in the end. Okay, now Amruta, you take over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Amruta Sagar, an engineering student. Today, I'm presenting you the solution to the present situation from the Manipur violence. I have divided this solution in four parts, that is government, social, economical, and cultural and history. So we will see the first part, that is what can a government do. Firstly, I thought about making a committee to discuss with these three communities, Naga, Methi, and Kuki, and listen to their problems, why they are this much violent right now, and the quick action from the government and court, because the petition for the reservation was applied to the court in 2012, and now they have said that these people need some uh, attention over this. It took 12 years to just pass this to the government. Kick out immigrants from the Myanmar,
as Kunal, Pooja, and Shweta have said before, that the immigrants are a big problem right now. Article 356 tells that the external aggression and the internal disturbance protection against this is a duty of a central government. So the central government should act as given articles in the constitution. Then we need more female army officers in army, because we have seen that these female terrorists are protecting the people who are disturbing the nation from inside. As we see in the females from in front of the quarter of the army Assamar rifle, and the people who, the women who were stopping our army officers from taking action against the violence. Then in social, I have taken few points that geopolitical political stand need to be understood by the citizens, because the Myanmar civil war is going on, and people need to be aware that we need to be strict for immigrants from there. Then make movies, songs, and documentaries to show how these three communities are connected to each other, and to show the similarities between them, to understand that we are not different, we are same people living here from hundreds of years. Then make them Kuki, Meti, and Naga, make them realize what they did to themselves by burning the state down. In economical part, the infrastructure is needed in Manipur, because if we take the northeast part of India, it is not that much well developed as the other part of India. And particularly Manipur, it is surrounded by the mountains and little valleys inside, as Shweta has given in a demographical area. The infrastructure is there. In a complete state, they don't have a single train there. So it is a really big issue that is needed to be solved. And economical viable alternative should be given to the farmers, as Kunal have covered this point, that the cash crop, it should be introduced for the hilly farmers, means cookie community, so they will drop the growth of that drug plant. Cultural and historical part, I thought about the positive religious teaching will de-radicalize the people who are radicalized for their beliefs, and let the Kuki and Naga Metis know why they have their tribes. While going through the history of these communities, I found that the Kuki community was established by the in British era to protect the Manipur area against the Myanmar. It was a tie-up between the Manipur's king and the British. So the Kuki was the first people who are originally Metis, but were trained for the military, and kept on
Last
the
1 minute.
border side. Okay, their purpose was to help and protect each other against the Myanmar. Teach history of Manipur in more detailed manner to the whole country. History always teach how to deal with present and work for the future. In the conclusion, I would like to say that youth need to get into all sectors of the work, not just in IT. The a youth by mean, I want to say that mature with the vision of Vivekananda, and that's all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, good, Amruta. Well covered. You segregated way ahead what government can play a role, what kind of social level we can sort out. Economics, yes, it is a crucial part, and the cultural history. Yes, we all are from same origin. People should realize at first that we are not enemies. But then uh, it's a crisis which has gone little beyond our hands, and there are reasons. So we need to really plug the gap. What are the shortcomings and which has led to this situation? Like one solution where the crime has gone to a very heinous level. You pointed out a thing like female officials, not only army, at all levels. Female officials are required in such areas in good numbers. Probably it will give cushion to the law enforcement agencies to operate in a better and systematic way. And it will be a transparent thing also. Then comes the
Yes.
infrastructure development. Infrastructure development is always a root cause. If you see red corridor, And if you see the coverage, the areas covered under the red corridor or the Naxalism is all less developed or not developed areas. So insurgency will flourish in those areas where people are striving for their basic needs. And these people will be indoctrinated. These people will be diverted. These people can be trapped easily for their basic needs. And they will be told some narrative which they will believe. So this is how a nation has to look, that some of the portions in our own land are not having enough facilities. People can be trapped into these wrongdoings. Okay, good, Amruta, you are covered well. Now I will ask others who want to speak something, maybe 1 minute to others who want to speak. Kunal will speak, even Pooja wants to speak, whoever wants to speak one by one. We'll ask Kunal first, then in the conclusion, I will give some comments and we'll close. Okay, Kunalji.
Sir, sir, I would like to speak on the causes of recent unrest, sir.
Okay, you can go ahead.
So, as we know, an ethnic clash erupted on 3rd of May 2023 in India's northeastern state of Manipur between Meitei people and the Kuki peoples. The clashes first broke out on the 3rd May after the tribal solidarity march was organized in the Hill District to protest against the Meitei community's demand for scheduled tribes. But there is no evidence till date who provoked the people for violence. In my point of view, there are three main causes which broke out the violence in the Manipur. First of all, eviction drive. In February 2023, the BJP state government began eviction drives in the district of Churachandpur district, declaring that the forest dwellers as the encroachers. There is also bill passed by the government to acquire the forest land. By this bill, 38 villages in the Churachandpur protected forest area are illegal settlement, and its residents are called encroachers. Government stated that the encroaching reserve and the protected forest land and wildlife sanctuaries, the encroachers are used that land for a poppy plantation and drugs business. But the cookies people think that eviction drives is a move seems like anti-tribal. The second reason is High Court judgment. On 20th April 2023, a judge of the Manipur High Court directed to the state government to consider the request of Methi community to include it in the scheduled tribes. But the cookies feared that the FC status would allow the Metis to purchase land in the prohibited areas and they get more power than recent. Third reason is drug trade. The refugees come from Myanmar borders are the main reason for the dispute. They also covered land in the valley. The Metis who already have got only 10% of land and that also shrinks because of the refugees. And there is a possibility also they started plantation of a poppy which led Manipur to become a producer of drugs from the receiver. Churachandpur is the worst drugs affected area of Manipur. So, in my point of view, these three reasons are mainly possible causes for the recent unrest and recent violence in the Manipur. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good, Kunalji. I think this was Lakan Saab's topic. You
Yes,
must,
sir.
okay. So he communicated to you to cover it. Hmm? Good.
Sir.
Yes, so these are three prominent causes. If we want to pinpoint top three, the eviction drive, which was threatening the existence of cookie and their whole economics, entire thing getting disturbed, and they thought it that it is anti-tribal things, and they went against the government. Next comes the point of High Court judgment. Maithis getting the status of ST will change the dynamics there. So cookies obviously felt little agitated, and this is the flashpoint actually. And drug, something like at the macro level, if we see what Afghanistan faces, at a smaller level, Manipur is a classic example in our country on a smaller level. If there is large number of people dependent upon such kind of illicit trade, their livelihood is dependent on this. There is a big nexus. Some merchants will be there whose interest will be affected if this drug business stops. The Afghanistan is a big level example, but we can apply the same narrative here. If the area is less developed, this is the biggest source of money, illegal money, and the livelihood. If it is getting threatened because their poppy cultivation is targeted, fields are captured, the areas are demarcated as forest land. Government was trying all these last year, and this is how the government was targeted. But then same people need to have alternative. So it's a very simple theory. When you are snatching something, give something. You just cannot address the issue like this. If you want to remove a slum area, first allot a land there. Then only these people who are getting displaced will not revolt. So if you know something illegal was there, the lands you are capturing, the law enforcement agencies are evicting these people, they will obviously go to a area where they will create problems. And the other people will get disturbed. They will also fight against the people who are coming from outside. And apart from these three, is there any strategic level issue? Obviously there has to be. Because in modern world, the war scenario is different. And that is how when there is a problem in enemy land, our enemy will try and catch upon it, will try and fuel it, will try and support it clandestinely. Not that openly it will happen, but if there is a problem, definitely someone else will take advantage of it. So obviously that is going to happen and it is happening. There is no doubt about it. Okay, good. Kunalji, you covered it well. Now, anyone who
Thank you,
wants
sir.
to add something or speak something. Okay. Pooja, Pooja want to speak? I can see raising hand. Okay, Amruta.
Yes, sir.
Pooja, you are not audible. I think some mic issue.
I'm audible, sir.
You are audible. I think you are using a headphone. You can remove it. Not audible.
Yes, sir.
Now
Yes, sir.
you. Yes, now audible. Go ahead.
Uh, Sir, I think the development and employment opportunity, because one of the main reason in Manipur is that uh, it should be investing in infrastructure development and the employment opportunity, because this will not only address the economic issue but also promote a sense of belonging among the people and strengthening the law and order.
Yes. When development happens, people get proper employment or opportunities to grow. So less people will get attracted to these all illegal things. Everybody is actually willing to live peacefully unless and until there is no opportunity. This is exactly uh, we'll be able to see when infrastructure development happens. Second is the belongingness for a nation, the sense of responsibility for a image of the good nation. But who will follow it? A person becomes thief or a drug handler because of lack of opportunities. He is not bothered about image of himself, society, or a nation because he is looking for his own daily routine, his own bread and butter. So if you create opportunities, if you assure them that these are the good opportunities for you, job, employment, some kind of incentives, some kind of real infrastructure which convinces the people that yes. And we have seen a lot of states have changed now. In our own country, last 75 years, states are evolving, and there are classic examples. From a poor state, it has come to a very, very reasonably good shape. There were problems in many states, whether even in Northeast. If you see, there are developments in Assam. We have seen people, especially in sports field, we see a good participation from Northeast because the development has happened in that area. One of the sports person motivates the others, and that is how the other youth get attracted for these good opportunities, and these people then start living for society and nation's image. So whether it is a job, sports, any industry, private or government, the opportunity needs to be created there. It has to be shown to the people that you can come to such beautiful fields. Okay, Amruta, you want to speak?
Yes, sir. It's about my imagination. I imagine that what if I have done when if I was with the army officer in the Assam Rifle Quarter, or with the officers who are going to help the community who are in trouble. That video went viral. That the female was saying that if you go ahead, I will just put off my clothes. That's all. So I just imagined myself in that situation and thought about two solutions. So I just want your opinion on that solution. You might find it funny, but I just want to share it with you. Uh, Firstly, the army officer who was stopped by the female on the road who was going to help the community who were in trouble. I thought if I was there, I would put the tear gases all over the area and make it go out of control so that the people who are there stopping the army officers will run away because of the tear gas and the way will be empty to move ahead, and the female who are in front of the Assam Rifle quarter putting those poster in hands, or that I just thought about mixing the itching powder in a water full of 1,000 liter water and throwing them on, that they will eat their body out and they will run away from that area so that my brothers will be, their dignity will be protected.
Okay. At times, in such very, very grave situations, decision making is not easy. In hindsight, we can actually evaluate, discuss. Like one example which happened 2 years back in Valley, where the officer, I think Major Thapa, or I think Major Thapa, who had to actually tie someone in front of jeep and come out of that crowd which was going to attack them.
Yes, sir.
So in such areas where the entire community is aggressive, you don't know who will do what. The mob mentality is the biggest problem. You can fight one terrorist, you can fight 10 terrorists, but when it comes with innocent civilians mixed, then it is difficult to decipher. And at such juncture, you have to go by some human values. At times, we can eliminate the culprits after some time. Like our law also says this, that innocents should not be punished, or we should not lose innocent lives. So when a situation comes that you cannot grossly do something, so you have to hold back. You have to just accept the situation, that it settles down, and thereafter you will take action and a step behind in the interest of the law, in the interest of the traditions of the army or any fighting force. They have to live by their standards. At times, your heart says something, but you have to act as per the traditions, vigor, ethos, for the respect of the organization's image. and you have to led by some culprits also, and later on you act upon them. So this is how decision making is not easy in such situations, and you have to think about larger people. If there is one terrorist or one bad element, you know, but when there is a collateral damage possibility, your decision gets changed. You have to handle situations as per the merit of the situation, and no two persons will have similar decisions. So we have to respect whatever decisions in such scenarios, whoever is the leader, junior leader, senior leader, government machinery, or even the army or VSF or any official in such situations. We have to respect them, and then probably it becomes a lessons for future actions also. Whether it was a correct decision, not correct, something else could have been done, and the methodologies for future operations, like police also over a period of time increased the female staff because situations have taught them. Similar things are happening in army. 20 years back there was no situation. The human rights issues at times was not a big problem. Media was not present. At times some of the issues were just sidelined. All these things were happening. Okay, Amruta, I think you get the holistic view.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank
Uh,
you.
okay. Anyone else who wants to speak? We will now end. Okay. In the end, I would like to conclude by saying the aim of today's session was to know something more about Manipur. We cannot discuss few things on such platform, but obviously our heart is with pain because it is some of the our own countrymen are suffering there. The situation is not very good. It is not pleasant. If we are nationalist or thinking about nation's growth, we never would like to see such kind of things happening in our country. Our country should handle such issues with more delicacy. Firstly, we should become proactive. Today, we are reactively handling it. So, ideal situation is such kind of scenario should not develop only. Any kind of disease, even with our body, should be eliminated as a preventive measure. So I feel somewhere something has gone wrong. We were not able to read writing on the walls. We failed as a nation, all agencies. We could not take on board the interest of the people. Could it, this situation, if we see in hindsight, could we prevent it? I feel honestly, yes. Even wars can be prevented. This is a smaller issue. So who failed? We as a nation failed. We have not done justice to the people, innocent people. We may be living in a very, very posh cities. We are doing our routines. But imagine a person on ground, the female, the kids, they are suffering. They don't know whether they will survive tomorrow or not. They don't know what will happen to them, what is their future. And they are not one or two people, few lakh people. Who is fighting with whom? But all are suffering. Can we take them out from this problem? Yes. But why there is a delay? This delay is not acceptable. If we can send Chandrayaan 3, we can solve such kind of problems. But there are some collective wisdom issues. There are some politics. So, in the interest of the nation, there should not be any obstacle. There should not be any political interest. Ultimately, we should love our nation, and when it means loving our nation, loving every citizen, religion is secondary. Whoever is dying there is our country people. Whoever is getting ill treatment there is our own country people. So these are the larger interests policymakers have to decide. The law enforcement agencies have to be really applying their wisdom and help the people, at least create the environment of assurance that all will be good soon. But unfortunately, what is happening at a war level in Ukraine, smaller scale, Manipur is facing that. It is a war, declared war. Here it is not a war, but it is a problem which is not being handled as of now in a correct spirit. I think we need to collect all the inputs, we need to act upon them, we need to apply collectively for the interest of the last man on ground. Nobody is enemy there. All should be channelized in a correct direction. If someone can be indoctrinated, same person can be taken on correct track with collective efforts. Some NGOs have to come forward, some people have to come forward, and government definitely can resolve these things. Okay, it was a nice session. We can end here on a good note that all will be sorted out. Manipur will again become a heaven in that part. It will soon have a lot of tourist spots which is not yet even thought of. There are so many natural beauties, so many natural possibilities there, but the problems need to be eradicated first, and we will do wonders. We as a nation looking forward for a great nation. So it cannot happen that some of the states are part of a great nation and some of the states are handicapped. It cannot be the great nation then. We need to have a great nation with every small inch of the land and every person on the remotest corner of the country to be part of a great nation. Okay, good. We will have regular interactions and it was a good session. Bye. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai
Have
Hind,
a
sir.
nice
Jai
day.
Hind,
Thanks,
sir.
sir.